Kim.
Thursday Thunder.
Welcome.
Again.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous.
Alright, what is it, mid-March now?
Mid-March?
Yep.
Yes. What's been happening?
Not much.
You said you were sore.
I was sore.
You
was sore. We went to the IV club the other day.
Yes.
And amazing.
Yes,
Phenomenal.
yes, that was interesting. Yeah, the Drip Club came to the gym here. We talked about the intravenous vitamins, and we had a number of people do it, and I did it as well.
Yes,
It was good.
Yeah,
Feel like Superman. Lots of energy. So check out the Drip Club on Facebook and on the web for intravenous vitamins. But what, you reckon that it speeded up your recovery?
Definitely. Definitely. I've had that problem with my knee for the last 13, 14 weeks. Got it done, and now I can feel it. Tendonitis in both my elbows. I can barely feel.
Yeah, well, I must admit, in previous videos we were always talking about my shoulder, and that's gone, and my tendonitis in my thumb is virtually gone as well. And the only changes I've really done in the last few weeks is introduce once every 3 weeks the intravenous vitamins. So I think it really does help with recovery.
It does, definitely.
And injury prevention and injury healing.
Couldn't recommend it high enough to anyone else.
Yeah.
Definitely. Give it a go. It's worth a shot.
Give it a go. Definitely. It was interesting. I was talking to the Riderwear people. Adrian from Riderwear.
Yeah.
They go to the Arnold Classic, which we'll talk about in a minute this week. So I told him to go have a vitamin infusion before he goes. And then he's going to do it again next week when he comes back, because it's a pretty hectic 72 hours of experience over there. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see his feedback. Anyway, apart from that, everything else is cool?
Everything else is great.
Training going well?
And doing amazing well, as per usual.
Yeah, excellent.
So, yes.
Alright, well, it's a huge week in bodybuilding this week.
It has not been stagnant.
This is pretty well now the culmination in the IFBB, with the Arnold Classic Australia on this week. Starts tomorrow. So, but we'll touch on, before we go into that, last weekend was the New Zealand Pro.
Yes, it was.
And that was the first time we'd all seen Brandon Curry. We've been talking about the photo of Brandon Curry the last couple of times, and he lived up to the hype.
He really did.
He came through, and he won the New Zealand Pro, and he won it. I saw the scorecard, it was straight first.
Yep.
Beat Dallas McCarver, who looked a little bit flat, I thought, from Arnold Classic, and apparently he had dropped about 10 pounds to try and tighten up. But I think in someone his size, all that'll do is flatten him out, and he looked like he was flat. Word is going around that for the Australia, he's going to put that 10 pounds back on and try to bring back that look that he had at the Arnold Classic in America. I don't know if that's going to be enough though. I think Brandon's on a roll, and I think he will win.
Yeah, he's going to take out both Arnolds. Yeah, he will, definitely. If he holds that condition or even improves on it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think so. He's going to have to do something really drastic, I think, to lose this show, and vice versa. Dallas will have to do something incredible to win it. Yeah, I don't think he's got the arsenal to beat Brandon. So Brandon won that. Dallas came second. Those two guys were light years ahead of everyone else. It was pretty well the Brandon and the Dallas McCarver show. Juan Morel came third, Jeff Beckham fourth, Darren Onikawa from New Zealand, who was definitely most probably one of the biggest guys on stage. Salmain Al-Khatakaib. Oh, well done. He's the latest. He actually won the pro qualifier in New Zealand, which we'll talk about in a minute. He came sixth. Atif Anwar from Australia, and Kenny O'Malley rounded out the field. I've got no idea who Kenny O'Malley is.
Sounds like a stereotypical Irishman.
Yes. No idea. It doesn't say where he's from or anything, so I've got no idea. Anyway, that was the New Zealand Pro Show. The Australian Pro Show is going to be pretty well the same. There's a few. We'll go through the list in a minute. But let's just have a chat about the amateur show. In New Zealand. So they had a pro qualifier in New Zealand. So there was a lot of controversy about this show, like just heaps in the amateur ranks.
Yes, there was.
Pretty well every division that had a pro qualifying status to it was won by Kuwait.
Kuwait, yes.
Yeah. People who were there are saying that even though they won, they shouldn't have won. So there's lots of controversy going around. Australian Nathan James Williamson in the super heavies looked sensational.
Yeah, he really did.
Like, he really did. At the prejudging, I thought, well, he's got his hands down, and that Salamane guy beat him. Yeah, look, I'm not going to go too much into the controversy, but listen to Scott Goebel and Luke Shembree's Muscle Radio.
Yeah.
They really go at it hammer and tongs, and they're going right to the point. They're accusing that this whole thing was rigged.
Well, there was the men's fitness class.
They were going right down. They were saying to the Aussies, don't go to New Zealand to compete.
Yeah.
Ever.
Just stay away.
So it was interesting. Look, the other controversy was there was 4 competitors that went across to New Zealand specifically to compete in the Classic Physique Pro Qualifier.
Yep.
And that was a guy called James Ormsby, I think it is, Vu, Mike Pearson,
Yep.
and the natty guy from Queensland. Oh, the name escapes me now. But all of these 4 guys apparently the night before were then told they can't compete.
Yeah.
You know, Australia doesn't recognise Classic Physique, so you're not allowed to compete. All of these guys then, apart from James Ormsby, who has a New Zealand passport as well, he was able to do it, and he got shafted.
He did.
Totally,
oh my god! Yeah.
Absolutely, totally shafted. That's another one. So it's just interesting that how can these guys were threatened with suspension from the IFBB if they competed in Classic Physique.
Okay.
So they had to go into weight classes in the Opens, and the ironical thing was they all did really well.
Yeah, they did.
Vu won his division, the under 80s. Mike came 3rd in the super heavyweights, looked awesome. Listen to the Scott Goebel podcast because it's really...
Yeah, they don't pull punches, those two.
No. So there was lots of controversy. Anyway, moving on this weekend, the Arnold Australia. So in the pros, we have got Atif Anwar, Brandon Curry, Dallas McCarver, Darren Onakawa, Earl Abrahams, Jeff Beckham, Max Charles and Michael Lockett. Guy Sistinano, who is a 212 pro, he has put his hand up and he's doing the Opens.
I actually can't wait to see him. He's probably one of my favourite.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt Guy's going to bring in really good condition and everything, but he's just not going to be. He's just going to be too small, unfortunately. So this is still going to be the Brandon and Dallas show.
Yeah.
And after that, pretty well. I think it's going to follow the New Zealand. You're going to have Juan Morel, Jeff Beckman and Darren Onakawa again battling out for the 3rd to 5th positions, and the others after that, well, it could be anybody. Like we said, it'll be interesting to see if Brandon can bring his condition, and there's no reason why to. I've seen photos of him at Doherty's. He's like a mini Dexter. He's so round and so full. I think it'll be Brandon and Dallas and mishmash after that.
If he holds his condition, how do you think he'd go to the O?
Well, it'd be interesting because Dallas is a top 10 Olympia competitor.
Yeah.
I think really if he can still nail it, and he's going to apparently go back to Kuwait after this show, and he's going to stay there and prep until Olympia.
That'll be good.
If he can continue doing those changes, well then I cannot see why this guy will not be a top 6 Olympia contender. So
time will tell now.
There we go. The other big talk, of course, is the Arnold amateurs, especially in the super heavyweights.
Yeah, it's stacked. It's huge. It's
so
I
think that'll most probably be more entertaining, and I'm looking forward to the live feed. And I found out today live feed is Generation Iron again.
Yes.
So on Saturday they'll be doing Saturday and Sunday. So Saturday will be the prejudging for the super heavyweights in the pro show, and Sunday will be the finals for the super heavyweights. So Generation Iron will have that. Look, I'm putting my predictions down. Who do you think?
I don't even have a name. It's such a huge lineup, and you just...
Yeah, look, Nathan James Williamson,
he's
most probably the favourite, but he's now done 2 shows back to back. and he has to peak within a week for another one, and this the major one.
Yeah.
Ross Maloney, who won Perth qualifier, looks sensational. He's had a pretty cruisy 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's very true.
You know, so he'll be able to do a good deplete. And he's definitely the biggest guy there, Ross. He's going to come in close to 120. I'm going to say Ross is going to win his pro card, and Nathan's going to come second. Yeah, I think only based on Ross having this cruisy, stress-free prep. You know, he came into the Perth qualifier at maybe 90%.
Yep.
So he's had 2 weeks to sharpen up more, which he has. Whereas Nathan had a pretty stressful New Zealand venture.
Yep.
He's had to do 2 depletes, 2 loads. He has to back up within 6 days and do it again. I don't know if he will be able to.
That'll be it'll be a challenge, but
not only that, in the under hundreds, there's some really good guys as well. Yeah. You know, Andy Bell has come from the US Arnold's to Australia.
Yep.
And he's doing that. He weighed in at 100. Follow this guy Andy Bell on Facebook and on Instagram, because he puts up some really funny bits as well. He's sort of like Scott. He can take the sport seriously, but it takes the piss out of the funny side. He put up a little bit of a funny video yesterday where he was standing on the scales, and it showed him at 119 kilos, and then the quote was that you know, carb has loaded very well. Yeah. Considering he competed under 100 in Arnold the week before. Everyone went nuts on the post. He put up the second video of him, what happened after he took off the scales, and he was holding his phone, and he filmed himself in the mirror, and he had a backpack on. So look, it's confirmed he's going to be in the under the hundreds. He needs to tighten up heaps from the Arnold if he's going to make an impact, but he looked really sharp. But yeah, follow him on Facebook and Instagram, because he does some funny shit, and I think that's what these guys need to do.
They do.
They're a little bit too serious. They need to lighten up, and that was a funny post, because when he put up the initial video, everyone just thought this guy had put on like 19 kilos in a week, in 2 weeks. Anyway, that's it.
That's it.
So it's pretty well the Arnold show this week. I'm not going. You going?
Yeah, okay.
I'm not going to the Arnold. No. So next week we'll have all the gossip, and I'm sure there'll be heaps of gossip and results and all sorts of controversy that's coming our way, because that's what the IFBB seems to be about at the moment.
Yeah.
Don't forget, guys, our superhero shakers are going really well. We've got a second shipment coming in about a week's time with a couple other new ones. Check out our specials. Our ATP special is still going and going gangbusters. Buy any 3 ATP product, get 15% off. ATP did notify me too that their protein has been sent.
Excellent.
So we'll be getting that. So we will do a comprehensive review on that next week. ATP are launching that this weekend at the Arnold. So if you keep an eye on the ATP Facebook and Instagram pages, they're going to then be releasing all sorts of details on the protein.
Well, we already have a little
We have a little bit of good idea, but we're not allowed to say anything until they do the official release. So we will do a full in-depth review on that, taste everything, next video. Also check out our Max's specials are still live. The Max's
the Mass Stack and the Lean
Mass Stack and the Lean Stack with the free t-shirt or tank top. Ari will put up graphics. I think that's it.
That's it.
That's all we covered today. Thanks, guys. Don't forget, hit subscribe, hit like. Any questions, just post them below, and we will endeavour to answer them next week.
So guys,
catch you next week.